Oh, hello folks, Carl here, AAEC Forum with Valkyrie Clone. Fantastic, I tell you, absolutely. Fantastic device. I can't believe the quality of that. Anyway, that was my last review. This one is a review on another mech that I received from Nigel of Vapour, who's on Facebook. PM'd him, so asked him if he got any left, and just to try out really, and he had. It was a TurtleShip Clone and stainless steel. I could have had a mix, brass and stainless steel, or a brass one. I went for the stainless steel. £34 shipped out to me, and usual black box, and that's it. That's how it comes to you. Well, it comes all built up actually while I've taken the tubes off. And also in the box you get, you see it, you get a spare spring. This one, the spare spring that's in here is copper. This one is actually installed when you get it, but I've taken this one out and put the copper one in. I think the copper one's a little bit of a lighter press than the stainless steel one, in my opinion. You know, you put whichever one in you fancy, but it's good that the Nigel includes that. You don't see that from many of the vendors. I think Safe Vapors did one review on this from Vape Geek, and I can't see him mentioning anything about a spare spring in there. There's what they had, so a nice inclusion anyway. So we'll put that to one side. That box comes in a paper packet as well. You know, the vape on that Valkyrie. Whew, tell you something, unbelievable. It's a stainless steel mod. There's the logo, TurtleShip logo. The serial number on this one that Nigel sent me is 0004. If you can see it there at the bottom, just under the ship. Nigel has a lot of low numbers if you're into numbers on your clones. Obviously, if you on the original ones, people want low numbers, but clones, I don't think it makes any much difference really. Put my light back on again. It's a polished stainless top cap with a brass 510 adjustable floating centre pin. So we'll take that off. At the moment it's got no rattling. There's an 18350 battery in there. Before I take it apart, let's put I've got a Typhon here. It looks nice with a K-Fun on, but the K-Fun's just ran out of juice not long ago, so it needs juicing up. So that's with a Typhon GT on top. Still looks very nice. The two stainlesses match quite nicely. Not bad. These Typhons do put out good flavour though. Anyway, it's not about the Typhon or the Valkyrie. My new favourite mod. So we'll take the top cap off. Threads are quite nice on this. Not as good as the Stingray. On a par with the Nemesis, I would say. What I've got here. So that's the 18350 tube on its own. There's a look inside. The threads are quite fine on this. Not the finest, but they are fine still. You still got to be careful when you're threading and you don't cross thread it or anything. can't see any tube joins in there, so I don't know if it's one solid piece of tube or not, but I can't see any in there. It's not thin and it's not overly thick. It's nice weight to it. There's the 18650 extension, and there's the 18500 extension. So 18650 on, screws on nicely. No join line there hardly. It screws up really nice and flush. And then we'll take that one off. Screw the 18500 on. Yeah, they do screw up quite nicely. The join's hardly noticeable. Won't be noticeable from a distance. If you're looking up close to it, it will be, but I always like them when they screw up like that. It's quite nice. That's the tubes out the way. Top cap, as I said, brass 510 adjustable floating centre pin. You've got your dowel ring underneath there. Now this floating 510, it is quite stiff. It will ease up over time, or if you want to put a bit of push it all the way out and put a little bit of Vaseline on, that'll ease it up a bit. But I'm assuming over time it'll go quite slack over time. So obviously you've got to screw your top cap on. It's got air channels, by the way, cut into it, quite nice and deep. Yeah, channels are on it, so you get good airflow to it. If you're using an atomizer that hasn't got its own airflow, the Typhoon's got its own. So screw it on. As you're screwing it on, there's not much play in that at all. I've had some which is really bad play in it until you've screwed it up tight, but yeah, this is quite good, this one is. So you stop there. So obviously you'll need to see the pins close up to the dowel ring now. As you screw it on, it's quite tight. It's pushed it out a bit, see? So that stays like that until I'm ready to put it on. Now the switch has a brass contact again. Got 4 air holes in around the dowel ring piece there at the bottom of for battery venting, and a locking ring, which is quite nice. The threading on that's quite nice. It's not even half open there. It's not slack on there at all. So the threading is quite nice on that. Unscrew the dowel ring off. Now, one little negative with the dowel ring that screws onto there, I've had to do a little out of the box. Out of the box, that dowel ring screwing onto there is very, you can flick it on. It's that slack. It needs to be tighter really. So because when you've got your battery in the tube and you're screwing that up, the dowel ring's tightening up as you screw the button in, which you don't want, because that's your battery rattle. That takes the battery rattle out, so that needs to be a bit tighter. Would have been better if the dowel ring was screwed on reverse threaded, so it didn't unscrew a bit when you were screwing up. So what I did to make the dowel ring tighter on the thread that it screws onto was to put some PTFE tape around there. So now it's a little bit tighter on the threads, because you could probably, if you wiggled it, you'd probably pull it off before. That's one little niggle I have with it, but it works fine now. It works fine. Obviously if you're used to a Nemesis where you can leave your atomizer on and change different size batteries out just by unscrewing the bottom button, and then screwing it back up to take out your battery rattle. This doesn't work like that. You have to adjust this dowel ring manually whilst it's out of the mod. Screw it back in, check for battery rattle. If you still got rattle, screw it out further, then put it back in again. So what we'll do is, I'll show you the I was going to put it on the mod there, but I may as well take it apart and to show you. So what you do is you unscrew that brass pin out of there with your trusty screwdriver. Just unslacking it. Hold your button in whilst you screw this out. You've got a little spring in there. That's your pin. There's the spring. So there's the spring I changed. That came in the box. Like I said, it was the stainless steel one that was in it. I changed it out for this slightly less resistive copper spring. That's the bottom button. Quite nice chunky button. And your lock ring. Now be careful when if you're taking it apart for maintenance. That's your sort of your base where everything screws onto, with your battery venting holes in. Now, to allow your battery to vent fully through the device, the lock ring has to have, because of the way it's set up, this has to have holes in it as well, because when you're firing it, if your battery's going to go, it's going to go when you're firing it. The lock ring's going to be flush with that. It's going to be flush 9 times out of 10 anyway, unless you don't flush it up all the time. But the lock ring's got a channel. Now that channel to allow the battery gases to go around there and through and out through the holes. If it's screwed up the other way, there's nowhere for the battery. You're blocking up the holes, the 2 holes on the bottom there. You're blocking up all them holes on the bottom there, them 4 holes. And it'll only be by chance if you screw it on that way onto there that the holes will line up and it'll be able to vent out. So yeah, make sure you screw it on with the recessed lock ring facing the holes, so the flat for surfaces there. So that's that, and then put your spring in. Just drop your spring in there. Put your bottom button on. And then put your brass pin back in, screw it in. Excuse me. Always tighten these up as tight as you can, get them tight. Not, don't ratchet them up, but just get them tight so it's not going to come apart. Put your dowel ring back on. I would screw it to the bottom and then screw it out 2 or 3 turns, because I haven't had a battery yet that is not rattly in here when it's flush to the bottom, so I've always screwed it to the bottom then out a couple of turns, hopefully to save naffing about with the button. So button screwed on, 18350 AWIMR nipple top, plop that in. Typhoon and top cap's already connected from earlier. Screw it up. So yeah, them couple of turns worked. Just turn it out a couple of turns, or else you've got to keep taking your button off. That's the only thing with this mod, you've got to keep taking the button off. If you've got battery rattle, you've got to take your button off, unscrew the dowel ring a bit more, put the button on, check it. If you've still got rattle, unscrew it a bit more. It's just not as good as the Nemesis button, how that works. That works sort of automatically as you're screwing the button up. whereas this one you've got to screw that white dial rim piece to match your battery length to avoid any rattle. So take a toot. Nice device. It's okay. It's okay. Not noticing any serious voltage drop at all. I can't test it like the take the typhon off. I can't test it like the professional reviewers do them. I haven't got one of them things either that you can screw on. So yeah, I'll show you it in 18500 mode. Yeah, that's 18500 AWIMR again. And then for 18500 mode you put your 18500 extension on, which is the smaller of the two. Threads are lovely on it. No complaints about the threads at all. I'll just show you what it looks like with the K-fun on, because it does look quite good with the K-fun on. But there's no juice in my K-fun left. It's just suddenly gone. Obviously I've got the stainless steel tank on it, so I can't. It just suddenly had a burnt hit off it, so I've got to fill my juice up. So that's how it looks with the K-fun on. It looks quite nice, to be honest. With it being a 22mm mod, the K-fun's 22, it's all flush, sits nice and flush as well on it. There's your vent holes, but obviously this is the K-fun Lite Plus genuine one. It's not a clone, it's a genuine one. Obviously the K-fun's got its own airflow, so it looks really nice on there. Let's take that K-fun off. Sizing, let's give you a size comparison. Just take my hippo off. So I've got my Pavari here, so I'm just going to give you a size comparison against a Pavari and 18500. Obviously the Pavari is an electronic device, so there's the Pavari. Everybody knows the Pavari, and there's the TurtleShip. That's an 18500, that's an 18500. Obviously that's got a lot of electronics in. My other mech's down there in the drawer somewhere. Obviously that's the Valkyrie clone I showed you yesterday in 18650. So it's just slightly taller than a Nemesis in 18350, but that's down to the button mainly. The button sticks out. The gap there is quite a lot. I'll say quite a lot, but it's more than a Nemesis button would be sticking out. But yeah, I've got no problems with the threads. The finish on it's lovely. Now when I had it out, one thing I haven't told you, when I had it out the box, this engraving wasn't as good looking as that. It was all where the laser engraving's been done. It's quite deep, this engraving. It is quite. You can feel it a lot more than any of the other clones I've had. Is that it had all like smudging where the lasers and printed it on, etched it on. So what I did, I think Safer Vapors had the same thing. It was really rough as well, very rough. So what I did was I got some, just cut a piece of Brasso off. I used the Brasso in the, I use that stuff in the tin. Not the like, I think you can get it in liquid form now, but I use it on the wadding, and cut a piece off. and just rubbed it over the whole tube. I did the whole tube, and I did that probably 3 or 4 times, and it brought the engraving out. Got rid of the what I would call like a overspray type thing. It was like an overspray of the, so you couldn't really see all the like where there's little bits of stainless showing through. It was all like burnt, if you know what I mean. So it was, but it was very, very rough as well. So that's got that down, and it's brushed up a treat. So yeah, that needs doing when you first get one of these. The one I've had anyway, and the one that Tom and Thingy had on Safer Vapors. But yeah, very nice. It's a nice mod. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice mod. I like the look of it. A bit more of a faff with the batteries, how the button works over the Nemesis. The Nemesis is dead easy. Change battery sizes out. You haven't got to worry about your atomizer on the top as well with this, because in the Nemesis they just unscrew the button, put another one in, just screw the button up at the bottom, fire button, and it takes the battery rattle out for you. Whereas this one, you've got to alter that dial ring yourself by turning that either way, depending on what battery size you're using lengthwise, whether it's nipple top, flat top, even between 2 nipple tops of different brands, they're different sizes. So overall, a nice device, nice finish to it, brushed stainless. Can't comment on the other finishes, but this one's really nice finish. Thread's lovely on it. I don't know if it uses a kick. I don't use a kick anymore. I haven't got one here. I sold it on the forum. I don't feel that I need to use a kick in my mechanicals anymore. With what I've got here to vape with anyway. I've got my Pravari and recently my Valkyrie clone, so I feel like I'm getting what I need. These mechanicals, they hit a lot better than they used to do with regards to how they vape, how they perform, not how they vape, because that's down to the atomizer, but how they perform with conductivity and stuff like that. They're using better quality connections, as in brass or silver plated brass or copper even now. So yeah, they do perform a lot better than they used to do. So I don't feel that I need to use a kick in it. So that's about it, guys, really. Have I got anything to tell you? Coming up, I mean, I purchased this off Vapor Saints, by the way, but obviously I buy a lot of my stuff off Phil at Mods and Atties. I was Skyping him the other day, talking about mods, because he lives and works out in Dubai for Qatar Airways. As well as running the vendor company, as well as being a vendor. He's got some mods coming in. His shop's stocking up now. They're starting to come over slowly. The Hades clone's on his site now, out of stock at the moment, but that's coming in the next week or two. The next probably 2 weeks. The Stingray is going to be by the end of the week. That's the copper one, black copper, the black and copper, should I say, and the stainless steel one. Another Panzer clone's coming, because the Panzer clones that are out at the moment are made by Vape Tech, and they haven't got the correct engraving on the top. They've got Vape Tech on the top, Panzer by Vape Tech, and it's not engraved either. It's laser etched on. I think Gary at Celtic Vapes got the same batch as what Phil did at Mods and Atties as well, and although they're clones, they're not 1-1 clones. So yeah, and they also got the Black Hawk Panzer coming as well, and no, that Black Hawk he's got coming hasn't got a sticker on. Some of the Black Hawk Panzer clones that have been coming out of Fast Tech in China have got stickers on them, where on the Panzer clone it says Black Hawk, it's a sticker. So yeah, that's coming shortly onto his site. I'm buying the Stingray, and then depending on if I get rid of another one or not, or if Phil sends me one out for review, the Panzer clone will be coming as well. So, have we got anything else? So thanks as well for all the subscribers that have been subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm not a professional. I just do reviews on what I bought, what I buy. I don't get vendors. I've had one thing sent from Phil at Mods and Natties. That was a few months back now, which was a K1 clone. I don't get things sent to me free for review. I haven't as yet anyway. I'm not professional enough. I'm not like Todd or Phil Basardo. I probably don't put enough time into it. They put a lot of time and effort into their videos, so they obviously deserve that credit. And Grim Green, who I watch all them myself. So yeah, I just do it with stuff. I just show you stuff that I bought, and I'll give you my opinion on what I bought, whether it's good or bad. I mean, the TurtleShip's good, but it's not as good as the Nemesis. So you know, these are just my opinions. You know, you might like it. I mean, because obviously I'm comparing it to a Nemesis, because it's a Nemesis style 22mm tube. How you know, it's still got the 3 sectors like the Nemesis has, and it works in a similar way. So I'm comparing it to the Nemesis, because the Nemesis is one of the best selling clones out there at the moment, whether it be copper or a brass or a mix or a whatever. But yeah, but thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for all my subscribers on YouTube. I'm up to about 60 odd now, which is good. You know, I think that's brilliant for me. I've been meaning to thank everybody who's been subscribing for the last month or so, because over the last month or so I've had about probably I was stuck at around 20 or 30 subscribers. I've recently gone up to about 60 odd now, so I think I'm doing a little bit better than when I first started out, but that's my own personal opinion. Like, the subscribers on my YouTube channel will tell me if I'm not anyway, or the comments that I get under there, and people on the forums who I speak to. But yeah, but thanks for everybody on the forum who I speak to as well. They watch my reviews as well. I always post my YouTube reviews up in the hardware review section on there, AAEC. The moderators do a grand job on that forum. But yeah, thanks a lot for everybody then. Thanks for the subscribers. Keep watching. I will be bringing reviews as I buy stuff. If there's a couple of weeks or 3 weeks where I haven't put a review up, it's because I've either spent my budget or they're not coming out of China. Because obviously I'm a clone reviewer really, so as you can tell with all my videos, I do other stuff as well, but mainly clones, because I just feel that the quality of the clones is I mean, I've got, I own Pravari, I've owned a couple of high-end devices. I've got an original K1 here, so I do buy original stuff, but I just think the quality of the clones is superb, and it allows people to buy something that they wouldn't normally afford. So I'm not going down that road of is it right or wrong, because it's right for some people, wrong for some people. Some people can afford it, some people can't afford the originals, and the clone makers are making these mods affordable for us. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching anyway. Thanks everybody for subscribing again, and see you in the next video. Bye.